Hi Trex, this is Pauline speaking, and I am assisting and supporting you within you as the tree of life, as well as an equality of the essence as who you are. Trex, we have to find a specific starting point, because at the moment your process is kind of strewn all over the place within you, and then it seems like too much to handle and walk through. That there's moments where you just go, push it away, do something else, and then kind of look at it and go, okay, let me just do this, let me just kind of get through this. This kind of happens when there's too much information and knowledge about specific applications, and you kind of start seeing everything coming up within you, and you realize, oh my God, look at what I've accepted and allowed within me, and look what's going on inside me. As your awareness starts to expand within you, and it's like, Jesus Christ, where do I begin? Okay, so let's focus on one specific point. Family. Okay. Now, on your heart section, there is a system placement within your heart, completely already in the center. It looks like these system placements are looks like black tar placements within and as your physical human body that manifests within your heart and then stretches out into the center of your mind. So it's just like literal tar, gooey black placements within you, which are system constructs, and it comes like from the center of your mind, and it's connected with these threads, and is manifested in all sorts of places inside your human physical body. So let's begin at one point, or one placement. Now, still to continue with self-honesty of you in every single moment. In other words, in applying self-honesty from the perspective of when a thought, feeling, or emotion come up within you, to stop instantaneously, immediately, and apply self-forgiveness. There are still moments and that I suggest apply specific self-discipline from the perspective of not allowing yourself to give into the mind, especially emotions. Because you're still allowing yourself to be led by emotions. They start kind of compounding inside you, and then what you're doing, you kind of go with it and go with it and go with it, and then you start becoming these emotions, and then before you know it, you're applying yourself in actions and expressions which you later feel sorry for and regret. So when you start feeling these emotions compounding, you really, Trex, have to stop. You have to stop. You cannot accept and allow yourself to be led by emotions and feelings and thoughts which start compounding so quickly. It seems that all of a sudden you just bash out, and then it's like, shouldn't have done that. And then you go through an entire process of self-forgiveness, but then that self-forgiveness is done in regret and guilt and shame and sorriness, and not in an effective application of self. So instead of going that route, you just stop immediately. In that moment you apply self-forgiveness, you breathe and you calm yourself down. Be careful of that, because sometimes, you kind of just fall into the emotions and feelings and the thoughts, and just kind of culminates to a point, and then, explosion. Get back to family. So, Trex, write down your experience of when you were a child, very young, in the whole family setup scenario. The human beings as parents in your world that played that role, as a starting point, as a beginning of this process, to get a beginning starting point of your process within this world. So for the moment we focus on writing down the experience of ourselves in the family situation scenario. as a child, how you experience yourself in the presence of others. Because in that you'll start seeing how aspects from when you were a child is still accepting and allowing to influence your experience as you're experiencing yourself right now. In other words, it's specifically got to do with authoritative figures, conflict. For instance, let's say when you're a child, there are moments where you saw, where you didn't stand up, where you knew you were supposed to stand up and you didn't. And what you do is now you're compensating for that now as you're older by standing up in ways from anger and guilt to, you know, kind of from that way compensate why you didn't stand up a long time ago in moments when you saw you could. So write down all your experiences of you with your family, you know, the family setup, parents, authority figures, etc. As a child, go back, write it down, and then apply self-forgiveness accordingly. And then you'll see how there are aspects of you when you're a child influencing the experience of you in this very moment. And so we start, you know, taking out the past completely and clearing ourselves at the starting point of ourselves here in that location as the breath, as the moment. Thank you very much.